Hiya, my friends. Welcome back to Mercury Minded Tarot. If you're new here, my name is Chelsea, and I like doing tarot and pick a card content and incorporating some astrology in there as well from time to time. So if you find yourself interested in subject matter like that, maybe consider subscribing or liking, or even checking out in the description box below. I have all of my other social media links if you'd like to see me elsewhere on your internet journey. So for today's reading, I have heard you guys loud and clear. You love the love readings. You are big fans of romance-centered pick-a-cards. So for you, today I am doing a who is coming towards you type of reading. So I'll get all the cards picked out so you can choose whichever one is calling to you, and we can see who is coming your way. All right, everybody, here we have our 4 groups, okay? We have group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. If you've been here before, you know my deal. Go ahead, pause, take a deep breath, meditate on these piles, figure out which one is calling to you, which one has messages for you by whatever means works best, okay? There is no right or wrong way to pick a group here, and for those who need a visual aid to help them, I have these little Christmas ornaments here because it is December and I have decorated in this house, all right? So again, group 1, we have this shiny silver ball. Group 2 has the matte red ball. Group 3 has the glittery silver ball. And group 4 has the shiny red ball. Once you have your group picked out, I will have the timestamps listed down in the description box below, along with all sorts of other possibly useful information like my social medias, the music used, along with the decks that I have used for today's reading. So take your time, pick which one you need to, and I will see you at your group. All right, so if you are someone that picked group number 1, here we have all the cards that I pulled for you. I'd like to point out this significator. Oh, maybe get up here. It's going to be justice for whoever is coming into your life, okay? This is the card that represents who this person is going to be like. Now, the other cards I have pulled for you here would be the 3 of Wands, the 9 of Pentacles, we have Engineer, Hermit, and then down here at the bottom we have the Balsamic Moon, Venus, the Sun, the First House, and Pisces. So let's talk a little bit about justice and what that means for who this person is that's coming into your life. I do want to point out right off the bat that justice is a card that is often associated with Libra and Venus, and although we don't have Libra here in this spread, we do have Venus down here at the bottom, which is just a cool little synchronicity, I think. So this person is someone who is probably going to be artistic, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they paint or draw, although it may. It just means they have an appreciation for the arts. They could even be into design of some sort, whether that's graphic design, fashion design, interior design, even architecture. They may have a certain aesthetic that they stick to or that they're known to as far as how they present themselves. Because with the first house, this is your house of self. It even says on the card here, you know, it's who you are, it's how you are projected, how others see you. So when I see the first house here along with Venus and Justice, that tells me that this person probably has a way of dressing that is very clean, elegant, that it may be high fashion, it could be that they're just into making sure that they look nice and they present themselves in that way. Other information I get just from that one card about this person is that this is someone who may be interested in being friends before they become romantic with somebody. They want to make sure that they are connecting with someone on more than one level. Kind of along that same vein, it's because they really take their time making decisions and considering all their options. This isn't someone who is very spontaneous or just follows a whim. They really think everything out. This may even be someone who makes like pros and cons lists. They really like to make sure that every possible angle has been thought of and considered before they make a decision or take an action on anything. Now with Pisces in the mix, like we have down here at the bottom, Pisces mixed with Justice here is telling me that this person is very forgiving and understanding. They're very thoughtful. This is someone very considerate as well. They don't speak harshly or brashly. They really take their time when they speak, and for this reason, I feel like they'd be really good with words, especially because we do have the creative energy of the Engineer here, along with the Hermit, which is another card associated with creativity, although that's more on like an internal personal level. But I really feel like this person may be a writer. They definitely are very, very intelligent, although maybe not intelligent in the, I guess, most expected form of the word. They may be able to come up with solutions that are kind of outside the box, right? If we combine Engineer and Pisces, Pisces doesn't exactly adhere to standards or how things should be done. They see things a little differently, and Engineer is coming up with solutions to problems, but in a more creative and intuitive way. I feel like they may come off a bit shy at first, group one. Now I do want to point out, because this is such a large general reading, that not everything I say may resonate with you 100%. And that is totally fine, it's okay, and it's to be expected. But the other thing I wanted to point out here is that for some of you, you may already know who this person is, and for others, this may be someone who is brand new entering your life. I don't see a lot of indicators here, that would lead me to believe it's one over the other. It's just going to be up to you in your personal situation if this is someone you already know, or if this is someone that's going to make an appearance rather soon. So something else I wanted to say here about Justice is that this can be a romantic card, especially with Venus, with Pisces down here at the bottom as well. This is someone who is romantic. They love being in a partnership. They want things to flow smoothly and go easy, but that isn't something you may notice right off the bat with this person, because one, I do believe they're a little shy due to the Hermit here, but I also believe for as intelligent as they are, I do sense maybe some issues expressing their emotions or expressing their feelings. So as much as they love romance and they long to have a meaningful connection with someone, it can be hard to express that or to let those feelings be known. Now, this may be as a result of a past hurt this person has gone through. With the Balsamic Moon down here, the message on this card is that they're going through a time for healing. And even the Hermit in this imagery here, well, get out of the way, ball. Let's see if I can focus this for you. He looks injured in this card, okay? So I do feel like maybe they're shy or maybe they're hesitant to come forward with feelings because they have been hurt in the past and it's something that they're dealing with or still recovering from. But underneath all of that and underneath this kind of, I don't know why I want to say a temporary insecurity, there is a strong sense of self here, because we have side by side the Sun and the first house. The Sun is our ego. The first house is who we are. This is all indicative to me as a strong sense of self and a strong inner power as well. Now, Chelsea, there's two other cards, and you're absolutely right. Up here we have the Three of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles, which I haven't gone over yet. And to me, these two cards together in this spread, they both actually carry a very similar message, which is, after you've been waiting for so long, you're finally getting or seeing what you want. So for some of you that are single right now, and you may have been single for a while, it's like you've been hoping, you've been waiting, maybe you've been trying to utilize the law of attraction or trying to manifest a partner into your life. These two cards, the Three of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles, they tell me that you'll probably be minding your own business when this person shows up. It's like you've been waiting for so long. You may have even turned your focus onto other endeavors like your schooling or your education. It's like, okay, I've been waiting for so long, nothing's happening. The hope is still there, but you've probably directed your energy towards something else. But these two cards are telling me that this could very well be the person that you have been trying to manifest or the person that you've been trying to attract into your life. I also want to say with the Three of Wands, most threes in tarot can indicate a third party or a third person, especially Three of Cups and Three of Swords to me are the two cards that are like, yeah, there's probably someone else involved in this relationship. But in this case, the Three of Wands is giving me that vibe as well. And that's really just indicating to me that there may be a third person here who has an influence over this relationship. I don't know, I hate to be like, it's an ex coming to get you, but it could be this person's ex, it could be your own ex, maybe, you know, because we have this time for healing in the Hermit cards here in this spread, maybe one or both of you is still hung up on someone else. Or this could even be a meddling friend. For some of you, this could be someone who's like, you know, you're taking too long to make a move, let me help you. And interfering in a lighthearted sense of the phrase in this case. Now, group one, another thing I'm getting here, the overall vibe of these cards is as composed, as calm and collected as this person may try to come across as, deep down, I feel them as vastly more sensitive than they would have other people know. They may seem very closed off and reserved to you at first, but there is such a hidden depth to this person, and it's not something that they expose about themselves or show to others very willingly. It's like they don't like being vulnerable, and I think that's because they have been hurt or burned before in the past. And now you may find this person and think of them as very independent, very self-sufficient, like they don't need you. And as true as that may be, because I do see them very self-reliant, highly, highly independent, there is, like I mentioned, that deep longing to be in a relationship with someone, to have a strong, meaningful connection. This isn't someone who would go out and have a one-night stand or make something purely physical. They want to have that emotional and mental connection as well. That's very, very important to them. They may just find that it's very hard for them to find that in a partner or to find that in someone else. But group one, I think that's where you come into play. This person is coming into your life for a reason, and I think that's to the benefit of both of you. Now, kind of a final thing I'm getting here, group one, again with these bottom cards here, Venus, the Sun, the first house, I think you're going to find them very, very attractive. Physically, they may be exactly your type. They may look like your type. They may dress in a way that you find really attractive because, again, they have that artistic inclination to them. And the Sun tells me that they're highly individual as well, so there may be something about them that's just so different from anyone else. They're not afraid to stand out or represent themselves in a way that's different from others. This person may have some money too, group one. I don't want to, for all of those who are concerned about having a financially stable relationship, this person for you, group one, with the Nine of Pentacles and Venus being money as well, they may be a hard worker, and if they don't already have a lot of money to their name, I do believe that that is something they're working towards. That may be a goal of theirs, you know, because they are so independent, they are so self-sufficient, they can truly take care of themselves. So this is not someone I see as struggling financially by any means here, group one, okay? So that is what I am seeing here for you. This is who I see coming into your life sooner rather than later, group one, all right? So please, in the comments below, let me know if you like this, if you resonated with this. Tell me if you already know this person or if you are excited to have them come into your life. As always, it is a pleasure to read for you. I am so grateful that you checked this video out and spent some time on my channel, and I will see you next time. Okay, so for those of you that picked the matte red ball or group 2, here is the card that is representing who is coming into your life. This is the King of Swords. So let's talk about the King a little bit, shall we? As a person, the King of Swords is someone who is very rational and will always do things led by his mind. He is very head over heart, mind over matter. The King of Swords does not do well in the realm of emotions, but he is very confident, very authoritative, might be a tinge controlling, but he is also, you know, either very well educated or just highly intelligent in general. So with that being said, let's take a look at the other cards that I pulled for you, group 2. We have the Six of Swords and the Six of Cups, so that's 2 sixes. We have the Liberator, the Queen, and down here at the bottom, I thought this was super cool. we have 2 south nodes, okay, here and here. And then we also have Jupiter, Mars, and the 5th house. Now, going back to the king, I would like to add that this is typically associated with an air sign. So this person may be an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini, or they just may have those signs kind of predominantly in their chart. The other traits I want to point out about this person, this King of Swords, when I also see the Queen here in this spread, this tells me that this person, you know, it confirms for me, they are authoritative, they like being in charge. But there's also a maturity to this person and almost like an elegance or just this composure that they carry themselves with. They just give off these very almost regal type of vibes. You know that they can handle themselves, handle their shit, handle their business. They don't really need to rely on anyone else. And when I see Liberator here right next to that, if they are someone who is controlling or domineering, I don't sense that they're doing it in order to put you down. I really feel like this is someone who would utilize tough love, you know what I mean? So if they're, I don't want to say harsh or hard with you, but if they are insisting something be done a certain way, I genuinely feel that this person is saying or doing those things because they feel it's in your best interest as well. They want to help you get to where they are. And I know that sounds very like arrogant, and it may very well be. This person by all means could be arrogant. Kind of a personal tidbit here. When I see the King of Swords in a reading, my initial reaction is, how do I say this? Because I know I have minors. A F-boy? The King of Swords to me is, you know, because they don't get very emotional, they're okay with just having a purely physical relationship and not getting emotions or feelings involved. So that is why I get that kind of initial reaction upon seeing the King of Swords. But with the rest of these cards, I don't believe that is the case. They just seem to think very highly of themselves and they want their partner to be as successful as they are. That's what I've been trying to say. I just spent like 5 minutes trying to spit that out. The other thing I want to point out with having 2 South Node cards, this tells me there are, if you believe in it, past life connections. I don't want to say are, it's obviously not 100%, but I have a very, very strong feeling that this is someone you probably shared a past life, if not multiple past lives with. So being around them may feel familiar. When you see this person, you may instantly feel kind of comfortable or at home, like you've known them for a long time. On that note, I just want to throw out that because these are such large general readings, that of course not everything I say may resonate with you 100%, but it's important to take what does apply to you and then leave the rest. But in this case, this may be someone that, for some of you, you may already know them. You know who this person is. I may be describing them and you go, yep, got it. I know exactly who that is. And for others, this could be someone that hasn't yet entered your life, but are, you know, they're about to sooner rather than later. Okay, group 2? The other really interesting thing, I'm moving on. 6 of Cups confirms that for me. When I say a past life, this is my past life card. And for others of you who maybe haven't shared a past life with this person or don't believe in past lives, this is literally someone from your past. This may be someone from your childhood. This may be someone that you knew, maybe even dated a long time ago, but this is definitely your past coming back. Because here we have, okay, this is our past, the 6 of Cups, and the 6 of Swords is traveling, it's moving forward, kind of, I don't know if you can see the imagery on this card here, but he is going from choppy waters into smoother waters over here. So this may be for some of you an ex that's coming back. And I'd like to point out that for some of you, the 6 of Swords is also my internet card. So this may be someone who tries to reach out to you via social media first. You may get a DM from this person. You may realize that this person has started following you again. I definitely would not be surprised if this person made an appearance on the internet first before, you know, finding you IRL. Oh, I sounded so old. I hate myself. Okay, something else to point out is the children energy here. 6 of Cups has the children connotation, as does the 5th house. This is the house of a lot of things, but mostly things we enjoy. It can be the house of your hobbies, your creative pursuits. It can even be the house of sex and romance. but it is also known to be a house of children. So for some of you, I don't know, I can get really specific. I don't know if you have had a child with this person, talked about having children with this person, or it may even be that in the future this is someone you have a child with, because I can't ignore the children in this spread, especially if we think about in synastry, which is just a type of astrology chart where you are comparing your chart with someone else's and how they interact. If you see a synastry chart and it has, Mars in the 5th house, doesn't matter who's, that is usually a strong indicator of, a relationship where you will have a child with that person, because Mars is the house of passion, of action, and of course that can equal sex in a lot of cases. The other thing I want to point out is with Jupiter. Jupiter expands all that it touches. So if you consider yourself family with this person eventually, that could be expanding the family, again, children. But more than any of that, when I see Jupiter here, along with the air energy from the King of Swords, I do believe that this person probably has an excellent sense of humor. I think this person can probably make you laugh a whole lot, and that might be part of their appeal. It could also be that this King of Swords is expanding you, but that sounds very weird. It's almost like they're broadening your horizons. They're helping you access your potential. They're helping you break out and better yourself, okay? That's what I get from the King of Swords and Jupiter being together. Now, again, coming back to these 2 sixes here, the 6 of Cups and the 6 of Swords, group 2, this is just kind of confirming that for some of you, this definitely is an X, because there is that tinge of nostalgia that comes from those 2 cards. So one or both of you may have been thinking about the other quite a bit lately. You have each other on, your minds, and the 6 of Swords is kind of taking that action to travel and visit you. So it's like they've been thinking of you, they're nostalgic about the past and what maybe you two shared together, and now they're interested in revisiting that, okay? What I'm also getting from this spread, group 2, from looking at the South Node, Jupiter in these tarot cards, I feel like there's a lot for this person to teach you. And if this is an X, you may already know exactly what that is. Like, oh, they've definitely taught me this, and this about myself and about them. But for those of you that don't know this person yet, or haven't had them come into your life, which they're on their way, okay, sooner rather than later, but there's almost this interesting teacher, mentor type of feeling here. I do think this person has a lot to teach you, and they may help you quite a bit in regards to your education or even your professional pursuits. When I see the 5th house, I know I mentioned hobbies. Some of you may be interested in learning how to make a living off of doing your hobby, off of doing what you enjoy. And this King of Swords is definitely the type of person who would be able to help you achieve that, to help you realize and actualize that. For some of you, if you lose motivation a lot, group 2, or if you find that your spark kind of dies quick, or you get defeated very easily, this King of Swords person, and I do want to point out, just because it's a King of Swords, this doesn't necessarily mean they're a man. It's just they have that very masculine energy, because I don't want anyone to be excluded in my readings. So when I see this King of Swords here, along with Mars, along with Jupiter, this is a highly energizing, motivational, get up and go type of personality. They may want to travel quite a bit. They may want to inspire you to get out and push yourself. That's really what I'm getting from this spread, group 2. Because the Liberator, they don't want you to get stuck in negative thought patterns. They don't want you to get stuck in outdated modes of thinking or outdated modes of belief. They are kind of like an eye-opener type of person for you, group 2. And as intimidating as change can be, because you have all of these South Node and 5th house connections, there's kind of this inherent trust you have with this person, where you aren't afraid to follow them where they want to lead. Because I will point that out right away, group 2, this is a leader. This is kind of the more dominant personality. So if you are someone who also likes to be in charge, with Mars here, there could be power struggles or clashes over who's really in charge. But for those of you here in group 2 that don't mind letting someone else take the lead, the King of Swords is this person for you. It's almost like you have found each other again in this life, because there's some sort of unfinished business, Or maybe it simply just is that you two can go farther together than you would be able to alone. That just came to me in my head right now, group 2. Together, you two can go farther than you would on your own, than you would individually. And that's what this King of Swords wants to help you with. A final thing I will point out, I know I mentioned that this King of Swords personality, he doesn't mind a purely physical relationship. I do sense the emotional connection here when I see 5th house, 6 of cups. Even with the south nodes, there is that emotional connection as well, but with the presence of the 5th house and Mars, I do think your physical relationship is probably just chef kiss, you know, mwah, just really, really nice as well. This person does seem to have a lot of passion, which can translate pretty nicely to a physical relationship. So that is what I am seeing here for you, group 2. This is who I'm seeing coming into your life. Please let me know in the comments if you know who this person is, if you're excited to have this person come into your life. And as always, it was my pleasure to read for you. And I appreciate you checking out this video and checking out my channel. And I will catch you next time. All right, group 3, and those of you that picked my shiny silver ball. The card I have that represents who is coming into your life is going to be right here with the Lovers. So this is the card representing who is coming to you. The other cards I have pulled are going to be the 4 of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, Angel, Advocate. I also have down here the Waxing Moon, Libra. I have 2 Leo cards, and I also have the 9th house. So let's talk about the Lovers, shall we? The Lovers as a person. The first thing I want to point out is that this card is kind of ruling over both Mercury and Gemini. And I know I don't see any other cards to back that up here, but that is something to consider. This card also tells me that this person coming into your life, group 3, they are very, very passionate, which is again confirmed by the presence of 2 Leo cards. They're very passionate and they put their whole heart into the things that they do. On the other end of that though, you know, if they are not emotionally and mentally connected to something, whether that's a person or a project, they will lose interest very, very quickly. Now, in conjunction with Libra, the Ace of Cups, even Leo as well, all of those cards together tell me that this is someone who considers their image to be very important. They probably dress very well, or at least present themselves in a way that they hope or think makes them likable or approachable. They just really want to be seen and noticed and recognized, truthfully, for how good they look. I feel like complimenting this person would go quite a long way. And I also feel like there's someone who would reciprocate that. Another thing I want to point out with the Lovers and with Libra and with the Ace of Cups, this is someone who reads to me as a serial monogamist. If you don't know what that means, this is someone who probably is 1, not very single for long, and 2, they take their relationships very seriously. Like I said, they put their whole heart into the things they're passionate about. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are, you know, very, very committed to the relationship while they're in it. But then if something happens and they're single again, they don't like being single for long. So they will probably go out and try to find someone else to be in this committed relationship with. I don't think it's that this person doesn't like to be alone. I just definitely think they prefer being in a partnership with someone. That makes them feel complete, it makes them feel more whole, and it also offers them a sense of security with the 4 of Pentacles, right? Because these 2 cards together, Ace of Cups, 4 of Pentacles, this tells me that when they're in a relationship, they may struggle to let that person go because they are given such a confidence boost, such a feeling of stability, and honestly just security from their relationships. You know, when we look at the 4 of Pentacles, they are clinging to that pentacle, right? They don't want to let it go. So this tells me that this is probably someone who is very interested in trying to find ways to make it work. If things start going bad in a relationship, they're probably not one to just, okay, on to the next, I'm done. Like, this is someone who really will try to make it work. Because with Angel and with Advocate, both of these cards speak to someone who is highly, highly compassionate and just a good person down at their core. It's true, sometimes they may come off as a little self-absorbed or self-centered, but that is just kind of how they're coming across. More than anything, they love being there for their partner, and they love showing that. This person may have a love language of gift giving. I'd even say physical touch is probably big. And since we do have the Gemini and Mercury influence of the Lovers, we could probably consider words of affirmation as being one of their love languages as well, quite possibly. Now, something I wanted to point out here, group 3, is that, along with all of my readings, they are very general and very large. So it's important to take what applies to you and then just leave the rest. If this reading doesn't resonate with you 100%, that is a-okay and totally expected and totally normal. I mean, if it does fully resonate with you, that's fantastic. But I'm saying this because for some of you, you may already know who this person is. I may be describing these traits and you already have an idea of, yep, that's who that is. And for others, this may be someone who hasn't shown up in your life yet, but I'm here to tell you that they're on their way and they're coming sooner rather than later, okay, group 3? Now let's talk about the rest of the cards. So, of course, with all of this Leo, I just would be so shocked if they didn't have Leo predominantly featured in their chart somewhere. Libra may be as well, or it could very well be that this is referring to you, but with Advocate, with the 9th house, this tells me that this person probably does have very strong spiritual beliefs. Angel, of course, kind of confirms that for me as well. And if they're not like religious, they may still believe in spirituality. They could have very defined morals or a very defined sense of what's right and wrong, because the 9th house is all about our, as it says on the card, our spiritual values, our belief system. The 9th house also likes to do things big. And that kind of goes along with Leo, honestly. It's very much a go big or go home kind of philosophy. Like I said, they like being noticed, they like being recognized. I mean, it is very possible, because we do have the 4 of Pentacles, that for some of you, this person may be a little shyer than what I'm describing, but I still believe if you were to find a shy version of this, if you were to give them a compliment or tell them that you like something that they're doing or wearing, or you like something about them, I still feel like that would make their whole day and they would just light up. There's some duality in this spread, group 3, that I can't really look past. With the Lovers and with Libra, even the Ace of Cups, maintaining balance, maintaining harmony in their partnerships is really big to them. Like I have mentioned previously, this is someone who will want to work it out. They're not gonna write you off at the first sign of problems, but they aren't someone, I feel like, who wants this needless, unnecessary drama or arguments. This is generally someone who likes to keep the peace. And if there is tension, arguments, disagreements, I feel like this person would probably just start to shut down a little bit. They feel most comfortable and most confident when things can be talked out or worked through. Definitely not someone who would do well with a partner that just gives the silent treatment or walks away or tries to ignore it till it solves itself. This person, I feel, would do best with a partner who wants to make things work like they do. There's a lot of pink that I'm seeing in this spread, which I do think speaks to their tenderness, especially when we consider Leo down here. This is a sign of a leader. This is a sign of someone who can be bold, they can be creative, they can take charge, but on top of that, they're also much more sensitive than they like to let on. I feel like this person may try to come across as tough, they may try to seem like nothing ever phases them, but ultimately this feels to me like a person who has kind of like hidden vulnerabilities and sensitivities. But for sure, there was tenderness, there was warmth here. I'm honestly so into this energy right now because this is someone so committed. There's someone to be so invested. They may like to play or tease a little bit. Definitely a flirt. Definitely a flirt. I see this someone is very flirty, but for the most part it is rather innocent. You know, if you were to call them out on it, they might be a little shocked, like, what, me? But that's because they like to have fun. They like forming connections with others. I do see this person as rather extroverted. Like I said, there may be someone who's kind of shy for some of you, but for the most part, this reads as someone extroverted, playful, and always with somebody. This may be a partner that they're always with, or this may be, you know, a friendship circle that they're always with. But I feel like they take such good care of their relationships, and their connections mean so much to them that they are always with somebody. And for you, group 3, I believe that they are coming into your life, that this energy is gaining momentum. Oh, there we go. The energy is gaining momentum, right? So they are coming into your life to share that energy with you and to be that partner for you, group 3. That is what I am seeing here. So go ahead, let me know in the comments. Do you already know who this person is? Are you excited to meet this person? Let me know what you think. Of course, I appreciate the opportunity to read for you. I'm so grateful that you checked this video and my channel out, and I will see you next time. Okay, if you picked group 4 or my shiny red ball, please don't hate me. I feel like this is the group that's gonna give me the dislikes. Let's go over what I've picked for you and why I'm feeling that way. The card representing the person coming into your life, group 4, is, can I focus? The Devil. So here he is in all his glory. We also have the 10 of Swords, the 10 of Wands, Femme Fatale, Trickster, and down at the bottom we have a supermoon, Capricorn, Mercury, Scorpio, and the 12th house. I can't make this up, group 4. I couldn't have picked cards with a generally more ominous tone than what is here. This blew my mind when I flipped all of these over. I was like, all right, group 4, let's go into why. I don't want anyone to get panicked or freaked out. Let's just explain what is happening here. To start with the Devil, this tarot card is most commonly associated with Saturn and Capricorn, and I do think it's interesting. I mean, I've pulled Capricorn. Let me see if I can show you. They both are actually very similar in regards to, like, you know, their ears, their horns, the general expression. So that's a neat little synchronicity. Now, why is the Devil ruling over Capricorn? Because this is someone very strong-willed, okay? I mean, very strong-willed. They're going to make their ambitions come into fruition regardless of anyone who says otherwise. They also really, really like, if not need, to be in charge. Some might consider them a bit of a control freak in that sense. They can also be rather stubborn. Okay, they don't like to budge. The Devil as a person is almost always thinking that they're right, and it can be hard for them to see other points of view. Not saying that they can't ever. I mean, I'm sure if you were to present an idea to them that made sense to them, they'd have no problem accepting that. But for the most part, they are very set in their ways. This individual, I would also imagine to be very sexual. And to help me with that is the fact that we have Scorpio down here. So Scorpio and this Devil card actually share the characteristics of being sexual, but also being obsessive and not being able to let go. The other thing with the 12th house and the Devil tell me that this person might have some escapist tendencies. So whether that's food, alcohol, drugs, or even more physical things like sex, they may have something that they are, let's say they're addicted to, but something that helps them cope with how almost high-strung and intense that this person is. Now, like I was saying, Scorpio, the Devil, both very sexual. Femme Fatale carries that same energy, very erotic, very, very sensual. There's also a strong financial or monetary connotation coming from these cards. This person may have a lot of money, or they may aspire to have a lot of money. That may be something that they consider one of their, big goals or ambitions, is to achieve power and to achieve financial status. Another thing I want you to look out for here, group 4, we have Mercury and we have Trickster. Both of these cards, I think, go together very, very well. Mercury, aka Hermes, is known for being a trickster, for little pranks causing little problems. But the other issue that comes from that, kind of the shadow side of Mercury, if you will, and even the shadow side of the Devil, would be manipulation. Because I think this person is very, very intelligent, I think it'd be very easy for them to kind of tell you what you want to hear, or they know what to say to get their way, I think is the better way to put that. They know how to work people. They have a very high social intelligence. So they may come across as very, very charming, very, very charismatic, especially when they need something to go their way. Now, something I want to point out here, group 4, just to get it out of the way, is that of course, this reading and all of my readings are very large, very general, so not everything may connect with you 100%, and that is a-okay, totally normal, to be expected. Go ahead, take what applies to you and what has meaning to you, and feel free to leave the rest. But in this specific case, I say that because some of you may already know exactly who this person is. This may be an ex for some of you, someone you've already dealt with before in the past, so you already have an idea when I'm listing these descriptors. You're like, yep, got it, know who this is. And yet, for some of you, you may have no idea who I'm talking about, and that's because this person is coming to you, but you don't know them, okay? This is going to be someone new entering your life. And due to the nature of the reading, and especially because I have this Mercury influence here, this person is coming into your life rather quickly, definitely sooner rather than later. Moving on, group 4. When I see this supermoon with the message emotions are running high, I see Scorpio, femme fatale. I do think that there is a very strong emotional connection to this person. I worry, trigger warning, I'm gonna throw it out there. I do worry when I see cards like this about potential abuse, because I did mention the manipulation and how charming they are. I don't want this person to create some sort of dependent situation where you feel like you need them, you feel like you're reliant on them, because with the devil here, this person does like power, they like control. So in order to do that, they may have created this sense of dependency on them, and there is just this very strange, very powerful emotional bond you have towards this person. Now, the other thing I want to point out, because we have the 12th house over here, when we're talking about synastry charts, in astrology, it's where you're taking both parties, you're taking both of their charts and smashing them together and seeing what falls where. When you have 12th house overlays in synastry, this can be indicative of secrets, and sometimes they can be quite painful because the 12th house, it basically rules over all that is hidden, all that is isolated. It is like the deepest part of ourselves. So when you have 12th house synastry, this may cause, the exposing of secrets, or it may mean that one or both of you are keeping secrets from each other. You may feel like you don't truly know all of this person, like they may keep a part of their life hidden from you, or vice versa. But ultimately, I get those same worried feelings, because with the 10 of Swords, this is of course a card, let me show you for those who don't know, a card associated with backstabbing, with betrayal, with generally being let down and disappointed. And then when I pair that with the 10 of Wands, this is a heavy burden that you have to bear on your own. You feel very alone, very isolated. The 10 of Wands with the 12th house is you feeling like you can't tell anyone else about this person, maybe. It's getting very, very weird. Group 4, don't hate me, okay? I'm really trying. I just feel this very, very strong attraction and connection with this person, but I worry that it may turn into something negative or toxic that is hard to move on from. That is my concern with this group. Because like I mentioned, Mercury is also communication and words, so they are good with their words. They know what to say. They can be charming. They can be charismatic. But ultimately with the devil and Capricorn, they want to get their way. And I just wouldn't want that to be at the expense of you. Does that make sense, group 4? Now, the good news is that we're going over this person that's coming into your life, but that doesn't mean you have to get involved with this person. If you start seeing any characteristics like this or any other traits in this person that make you pause or make you second guess yourself or just give you that kind of feeling, you of course have all the power to walk away from this, to not engage with this person. But I do think that physical attraction is going to play with you a little bit. And I think they know that they're physically very attractive well, and they may even be good in bed. But is it worth it? If you don't mind me speaking to you as a friend, group 4, is it worth it? You may have bomb sex with this person. Physically, you understand each other and you're on that same level, but there is a lot going on under the surface that I would just be on the lookout for. Something else I'm feeling from this person with Mercury and the Trickster, this person might be really, really funny. They may make you laugh. Like I have pointed out so many times before, they're so good with words that their sense of humor and their wit is probably on point. That may be another positive trait to this person, is that they're funny. They have a good sense of humor. And with Capricorn influence, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like self-deprecating humor or maybe a little bit on the darker side. I don't think this is going to be very like slapstick type of humor, but typically with the Capricorn influence, the devil influence on a sense of humor, it makes it a little darker and even very, very, very sarcastic. Even this phrase just caught me on my 12th house card. Keep your involvement hidden. That I feel goes along very well with what I was saying, you know, feeling like you can't share the burden with anyone else if you were to get involved with this person. I don't know if they may end up isolating you. That's a potential here with the 12th house present, because it can also rule over institutions, quite literally like prisons or other places where you are isolated, where you are separated. I've even seen like asylums or monasteries are considered to fall under the 12th house because you are alone, you are isolated. And so that is another it's another red flag for me here, group 4. I don't want them to isolate you, making you feel like you're all alone, making you feel like you're depending on this person. So consider this just my little forewarning for you, group 4. If you already know who this person is, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, have experienced some of the things I've mentioned. For those of you that don't, just be on the lookout for these kind of traits and characteristics. You know, more important than anything is taking care of yourself and looking out for yourself. I wouldn't want you to get involved into something where it may potentially cause you pain, okay? I don't want you to get hurt, because with all of these cards, the main thing of the devil is that it is like an addiction where it's very, very hard to let go of or move on from. And so I worry about that pain being on your heart, group 4. That is something I definitely feel for you here. So I am so, so sorry that these are the cards that I drew. I can't believe it. Other tarot readers may feel me here like, wow, what are the odds of pulling all of these to describe someone who's coming into your life? But it is what it is. I never want to sugarcoat anything for you guys. I never want to leave anything out. I always want to give you my true and honest opinion on things. So I don't want to say this is a warning, but it's just something to consider, something to keep in the back of your mind. If you meet someone who seems too good to be true, if they are so charming, just enjoy yourself. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, but also remember that you need to look out for you and to not fall victim to any of these abusive types of characteristics. Okay, group 4, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you checking this channel out. It was, of course, a pleasure reading for you, even though it was more doom and gloom than I would ever like. But thank you so much for watching regardless, and I will catch you next time. Oh my God, I haven't filmed in so long. It's been 87 years. It's snot. It's snot. Also spitting out my hair. Who's coming your way, Shay? Shay, who's coming your way? I have to stop. And then this starts coming out, the rambling and the voices and the why do I talk like that? Why do I talk like that? Oh gee, I just can't figure it out. Let's get down to business. Get in there. Yeah, get in there. Yeah, yeah.